Hello, everybody. Welcome into Talking Fitchburg on this windy and crazy Wednesday, December 15th, 2021. Wowza. It's going to be breezy tonight, and I hope you have everything tied down, secured, and definitely have a plan ready tonight in case the power does go out because of the wind gusts. We'll keep you updated, and if there's any emergency management stuff, we'll pass along here on Fact TV and our social media accounts as well as through the city, as it's going to be kind of a nasty night here for at least through the evening into tomorrow morning. So we'll be on the lookout for that. We got a really busy show coming up for you today. We'll get you the latest headlines here in Fitchburg. We're going to be talking about your tax bill this year. We'll break it down in our annual meeting with Misty Dodge, a two-part series here. We'll have both of those, including the tax bill breakdown and FAQs. Let's jump into a couple of headlines. The light tour. Well, now your time is up to get involved in the light tour, but now you can be on my side and enjoy the light tour this weekend. Yeah, it's going to be Saturday, December 18th. There'll be 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. There'll be signs posted starting on Friday. They'll be going out and putting the signs at the different stops, as well as the map will come out on Friday. So once we get that, we'll share that with you. And then enjoy a beautiful holiday lights tour this weekend from 6 to 9 p.m. I'm excited to take the kiddos out there and look at all the great lights and got some insight. There's 2 different blocks that have set up some displays like side by side by side. It's going to be crazy. So excited to see that. And we'll bring you some of that coverage on Monday's TF. All right, recognizing 50 years of fire and police. There was a proclamation held last night just for that. And we have a piece of that for you right now.
Thank you. I'll keep it short. Just basically, one of the things that I'm probably the luckiest to be able to talk to is the fact that I actually met Herman Fund, the initial fire chief for the city of Fitchburg. His vision was remarkable as far as what this department was intended to be, and is starting to claim through the course of its history. So I am very much in a position of honor to be able to speak on behalf of the men and women of the Fitchburg Fire Department and recognize the good work that's happened over the past 50 years. And thankfully, to the vision of Herman Fund, we are able to do what we do today.
Thank you, Mayor. This is actually quite an honor, and it's a part of making history. We will, or someone, maybe the next generation or 2 generations down the line, everybody's going to be reflected, and you usually go to the 25, 50, 75, 100-year markers. This is very important. You may be on a photo. You may be part of a saying that will be used for hundreds of years. And some of those police sayings is, let's go meet back at the barn. Barn, where did the barn start from? That's back when we were operating on horses and buggies, carriages. Well, there'll be slang that we use now, police language, that we're going to invent and keep for hundreds of years. So think about that as you operate out there. Some of the things I'm part of making history. Very important. We all here are part of that history. So something to look forward to and be a part of. Thank you very much.
All right, the full proclamation is up at our Facebook page and YouTube page. You can check that out. And congratulations again for 50 years of great service from our police and fire departments. All right, changing gears. 12 days of holiday care giving. This is from the Alzheimer's and Dementia Alliance of Wisconsin, saying they're doing a 12 days of holiday care giving. They'll be posting different holiday care tips all the way up through the 24th. And the first one is a good one. Enjoy making memories. And that's sharing those magical moments with your loved ones, and take time out for yourself this holiday season and help out others. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Coming up next, we're talking about your property taxes. We'll break it down next right here on Talking Fitchburg.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
You could be spreading the coronavirus without realizing you have it. So follow guidance from authorities where you live and do your part. It's important to limit in-person interaction with anyone outside of your immediate household, but phone and video chat are safe ways to connect. It's also important to limit any social gathering. This advice applies to people of any age, including teens and younger adults. Visit coronavirus.gov for the latest information.
Brandon met a girl on a dating app. He finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving.
She must be a keeper.
Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining me today for her annual property tax update. It's Misty Dodge, your finance director for the city of Fitchburg. Misty, welcome back to the show. How are you doing today?
Doing good. Thanks for having me, Jeremy.
Thank you for being back on here and going through this. I may now recognize and understand how this form works. Kidding. I'm a homeowner. I've got some knowledge. She really knows that I need help all the way. So, but that's besides the point. Misty, first and foremost, tax bills go out.
They went out Friday. So Friday, December 10th was when they were mailed. My guess is they'll get mailed over the weekend and they probably will hit mailboxes either Monday or Tuesday.
And if somebody thinks they didn't get it, what can they do? So they're watching this, they're like, wait, what?
Yeah. So all of the tax bills are available on Access Stain. It's the website sponsored through the county. You can look up your property by your name, by your address, or your key number if you have it. And then it'll show you all of the information for your property. And there's a link to get the tax bill. So you'll be able to get one through there as well.
Perfect. And what we're going to do on this interview is we're going to talk specifically about what is on your tax bill and clarify the numbers for you, help you understand it a little bit better. And really, I don't see too many changes, but I may be talking out of line. So we'll find out together here what's going on. But first, starting at number one, and I love how you label this for us each and every year. It gives me an easy way to direct us through this. So what do we got at the top?
Yeah, so number one is your bill number. So this bill number does change every year. This bill number is important. If you pay through your bank with an online payment, we'll want to know what that bill number is. If you write a check, it's also helpful for us as a double check to put that bill number in the memo line of the check. But again, it changes every year. So make sure you're looking for the right one.
Gotcha. Well, that'd be a good way to make sure you got the right tax bill here, certainly. All right, number two is looking at the total assessed value.
Yeah, so number two, number three, and number four are actually all related. So number two is your property's assessed value. 310,000 is actually the average home's assessed value. So I thought this was a great bill to talk about today. And then that value is set by the city assessor. It was a maintenance assessment year this year. So for most bills, that value stayed the same from last year to this year. Exceptions being if there was an error that was discovered or done through board of review, if you added something to your property, if it was a new property, something like that, then obviously that amount would change. But if everything with your property was the exact same as last year, for the this assessed value should be the same. What's different though is that estimated fair market value. We all know the market has changed in the last year, even if we haven't changed our assessments. So the state looks at our total assessed value and our total equalized value, and it creates this ratio. That's box number 3. So usually, because we would do a reval every year, but this year we didn't. So usually we'd be right around 100%. This year we're at that 96%. So we're lagging the market a little bit now, but we'll true that back up. And it's still uniform across all of the properties. So then to get to that estimated fair market value, we take your assessed value divided by that assessment ratio to get the estimated fair market value. So 2 divided by 3 equals number 4.
Fantastic. Moving on to box number 5, net assessed value rate.
Yeah, so that assessed value is the value that we use to calculate the taxes for each property. And so we take that assessed value, divide it by 1,000, and multiply it by the assessed value tax rate. So for this year, and this is a Madison school district bill, so there'll be nuances or differences depending on which school district your property is in. But for the Madison school district, the overall tax rate was $21.96 per $1,000 of assessed value. So that's what that box 5 is.
All right, perfect. Moving down then to number 6, and this gets interesting.
Yeah, so number 6 isn't down there. So past years, I have talked about how there was a line for the state of Wisconsin that was at 0. It's been at 0 for the past 4 or 5 years. they finally just took that zero line off. So this year, number 6 isn't on there anymore.
Trick question on Jeremy's part. All right, 7 and 8, moving right along. First dollar credit and lottery and gaming credit.
Yeah, actually, I'd like to back up for a moment. So the city of Fitchburg, you'll see, even though the state's not on here, there's still Dane County, city of Fitchburg, Madison School District, and the Tech College. And so you can see in that column where there's the purple bar that says about a third, the city of Fitchburg's piece of the tax bill that we collect, that the city of Fitchburg uses for our operations, is actually only about a third of the total tax bill. And then the next purple bar, so the total tax bill, the 680616, to get to that, that's what we talked about earlier, where it's the assessed value number 2 times the rate number 5 to get to that total tax bill. So then once we know what your taxes are, there are 2 credits that most residential properties will have. The first one is number 7, which is the first dollar credit. That credit is applied automatically to any property that has improvements. So that one, if you're eligible, you will just get it. Number 8, however, people need to watch their bills for this one. So the lottery credit only applies if it was your primary residence as of the first of the year. So if your property was your primary residence as of January 1st, 2021, and that amount there is blank, make sure you reach out to the city. We will help get you the form that you need to fill out in order to get that lottery credit. And it's quite a bit of a hike this year. So last year, you can see in the Madison School District, it was just shy of $200. This year, it's over $300. And with all of the new properties that are being built, the new homes, I hope that everybody looks at their bill and make sure that if you're eligible, you have that lottery credit.
Yeah, it's easy money. That's the way I like to call it, but I know you would never call it that, but we'll move on to box number 9 on the net property tax and trash pickup.
Yeah, so in that section there is where all of the special assessments and special charges will be located. So this property has trash pickup charge. So all residential single family and duplexes will have that trash pickup amount. It's $215 this year. It was $209 last year. So it is a bit of an increase, but reasonable based on the additional costs that we're incurring. Other things that might show up in that box would be if you have any special assessments for curb and gutter or streets or water, additional services that were in there. Also, if there's delinquent utilities, those amounts will show up in that box.
And then that does that total out there at the bottom?
It does, yep.
Fantastic. All right, moving over to number 10 and number 11. Very important information here.
Yeah, so a lot of people choose to pay their property tax bill by the end of the calendar year for income tax purposes. But as far as the property tax bill is concerned, it's not due until January 31st. And people have the choice to pay it either in full by January 31st or at least the minimum first installment amount. Those amounts would all come to the city of Fitchburg through January 31st. Any payments after that would go to the county instead. And I will note that we do accept postmarks for 5 days. So if you want to pay by December 31st, we will accept that postmark. We will, as a courtesy, backdate it to 2021, even though, again, it's not due at that point. Or if we get mail in that 5 days after, or I guess any mail that we receive after January 31st, we forward that on to the county and they would apply it. If it was postmarked January 31st, they will make sure it's shown as timely. But the address for the county is on the bill too.
Fantastic. Good information to know. Finally, moving down to box number 12 on this page, and it says the taxing jurisdiction. Explain what that means.
So all of our school districts at this point have a referendum that is a non-recurring or is a recurring referendum. So this bill, again, is a Madison School District bill. This information here in this part is relatively new, but I like it because it shows the different non-recurring or non-perpetuity referendums that were approved, and then how much of your specific bill goes to pay that referendum and when that ends. So to look for the first one, so the city of Fitchburg's total portion of the first referendum passed by the Madison School District that will end at some point is that 227 amount. And the amount that this particular bill paid towards that is that $40. And then you can see the same amount for the second referendum that would be reported for that school district. And again, these are only for referendums that will end at some point. So if a referendum was approved, say for staffing, and it's perpetual, it will always be there, that information won't show up here. These are just the ones that are going to end.
Awesome. And that shows that end there does show the year that it will finish out at. All right, bottom page here of this, we have it broken down into two. And this is probably the part that you deliver if I was going to guess, but check 13, check for billing address change.
Yeah, so this is the stub that's shown at the bottom of the bill. If you're mailing your bill in or if you're paying in person, we'd really appreciate if you included that stub. It's just another way for us to make sure we apply the payment to the appropriate parcel. I wanted to point out number 13 though. So if you do have a billing address change, that is something the city can take care of for you. So you'll check that box and then note what your new billing address is. So this would apply if you're moving or if you temporarily go to somewhere warm, for example, and want your bill to be mailed there instead of your place in Wisconsin. Billing addresses we can change. If you want to change your owner, it's like it's a different name or any of those types of things, that actually has to go through the county, through the Register of Deeds, but the billing address we can change.
All right. Well, that was easy, right? Not too much trouble per se. If you're still wondering, like, okay, this was a lot of information thrown at you. I bet you there's a place, and Misty Dodge has a lot of tricks up her sleeves. I bet you there's a place you can find more information on this. How can we find that on the website?
Yes, so this is the city's website. There's actually a quick link down here towards the bottom for the property tax frequently asked questions. We try to put out all of our information on the website so people can have access to it. Of course, feel free to give us a call or email us, and we're happy to answer questions that way too. And we just want to make sure as much information is available to people as possible. So this is the city's tax page. It talks about a variety of different things. It does have that lottery credit form. So if you notice your bill qualifies, but it doesn't have the lottery credit, here's the form that you'll need to fill out. And it talks about all the same stuff that we talked about before, and that's included on our insert. And actually, every property tax bill will get a tax insert too, the same one we send out every year. And here's a link to it on the form as well, if you'd like to see it.
Yeah, it's an easy to use form and answers a lot of the good questions that you might have. And we'll have a separate interview that actually goes through a form that's shipped out with the tax bill and is on the website to help you navigate that. Misty, thank you so much for your time going through this. We appreciate it as always. We'll check back in with you soon.
Thank you so much.
You bet. We'll take a quick break. More to come. You're watching Talking Fitchburg.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life, but how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have prediabetes, a serious medical condition that puts you at high risk for type 2 diabetes. 1 in 3 American adults has prediabetes, but more than 80% don't know they have it. The good news is, prediabetes can be reversed, and for many people, healthy changes in their daily routine can make a big difference. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Severe weather can strike anytime, anywhere, but there's a simple way to stay safe. Hey, Jim Cantori here. I stay safe in dangerous weather by planning ahead. You can stay safe too with a few easy steps. Build an inexpensive kit with supplies for your family's needs. Write down important information like phone numbers and medications. Always talk with your family and remember any pets in your planning. Be ready, be safe. Start your plan today at ready.gov/plan.
Well, welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joined today from the Finance Department, your Director of the Finance Department, Misty Dodge. Double name on the department, but Misty Dodge is just Misty Dodge.
That's fair.
You're like, whatever.
Jeremy.
Hi, Jeremy. We're talking property taxes. We're talking about the insert and or your FAQ sheet, if you will, of everything you need to know about the property taxes. There's a separate interview that we did that goes through the property tax bill itself. You should check that out if you want to learn how that works. But these might be some of the questions surrounding just the property taxes in general. And Misty, I love this sheet. It's like the cheat sheet for me to know how my property. A lot of people ask me about the property taxes for whatever reason. And I'm always like, you should check out this cool sheet because that's where I refer to. Fast facts. There's some nice facts there right off to the side here before we dive into this thing. And that kind of takes a look at 2021.
Yeah, I like this part because especially if you are like me and you like to see how things change, we do have kind of that comparison, and you can see how our total value has changed over time, our number of properties, the assessed value, the tax rate changes. There's just some really great kind of key statistics, I think, on that side that I think are fun to look at.
Absolutely. So if you are interested in that, you can stop by and ask Misty Dodge about that. Let's go into some of the questions here. First off, how can I pay my taxes? It's an interesting question, but there's several different things that are happening here. A lot of people do escrow. So how does that work?
Yeah, a lot of people do escrow. So if you are going to mail in your escrow check, just make sure that you pay attention to who that escrow check is made out to. So if it's made out to the city of Fitchburg and the property owner, we're going to need to make sure that you endorse the back of it so that the city of Fitchburg can actually cash it. If it's made out to the city of Fitchburg or the property owner, then your endorsement is not required. But if that word "and" is there, please make sure that you endorse it. Otherwise, we do have to send it back to you or give you a call and have you come in to sign that over.
I was going to say, do some people actually get it sent directly to you, right? Do the financial institute send them directly to you?
Some of them do, yep. And in those situations, it's always city of Fitchburg or just the city of Fitchburg. But if you get the check directly and are remitting it over to us, make sure you watch for that.
Fantastic. Sorry to interrupt you on that one. All right, checks itself. What does the information needs to be in there?
Yeah, so if you send a personal check or business check or a check other than an escrow check, make sure that it does get to us by the due date, January 31st. And also don't include other payments on that check. So for example, a pet license, you want to make sure your property taxes are in a separate check than your pet license, because those are two different systems that we have to bring those up in. And then if a check does bounce, we will reach out to you, and there is a $25 NSF fee associated with it. One other thing I'd like to point out is if you are near that January 31st deadline, so we collect here at the city payments only through January 31st. Any payments after that would go to the county instead.
All right, and we'll look at that information here a little bit lower. Cash, one big thing here. Don't put it in the Dropbox.
Yes, and I would also encourage you not to put it in the mail. So if you want to pay by cash, bring that over to the city. We will count it, make sure that we all agree on what the dollar amount is and that it gets applied appropriately. But with cash, because it is so easy to transfer, it's best not to put that in the Dropbox or in the mail.
And next one, online payment. A lot of people use online payment for other things. Might want to reconsider before using this option. Just know about the fees here.
Right. So if you do an online payment through your bank, that works for us. Make sure that you include though the bill number from the top right corner of your bill, and keep in mind that that number changes. So if you set up the payment through your bank last year and you want to do it again this year, make sure you go into the details to change that bill number so that we can make sure that we apply it appropriately. If you want to make a payment through a credit card through the city, you can also do it that way. We do have a fee for that, a convenience fee. So it's 2.75% for credit cards, or if it's e-check, it's $1.10. So it is an online payment that you can do. You will get a receipt right away to acknowledge that that payment was made. However, that system turns off 3 days before the due date because all of the payments have to be in our bank account by the 31st. And it takes 3 days before or from the time when you submit that online credit card or ACH payment to when we actually get the money from the company. So we turn that off 3 days before the due date. So if you're close to that due date, not the best option for you.
And yeah, of course, we'll let you know if you can't make the payment that way because of that being close, certainly. All right, then moving right down the line here to where do I pay my taxes? And we've got some options for you.
Absolutely. So by mail is what most of our property owners will do. So City of Fitchburg's address is available there. Again, please don't do cash. And it's also really helpful if you include the stub from the bottom of your tax bill so we can make sure we apply it in the right way. There's also a drop box available. So if you want to make payment outside of our normal business hours, whether it's a weekend, it's just different times of the day or a holiday, the drop box is available 24/7. So it's when you come into City Hall, there's that foyer area towards the second set of doors to the right, where there's that bank of cabinets. There's a property tax and a utility bill payment drop off section there. So you could always drop your check in there. We will get it the next day and we'll receipt it. Again, another place not to do cash though.
Yeah, absolutely. But you could do cash if you were in person. And this year we're at a new location. If you are coming in person, tell us where they're going to be going down to.
Yeah, so we are still in a separate room, but it's a different separate room from last time. So if you come into City Hall, you walk straight down that hallway, and it'll be on the left. Most of the way down the hallway, we'll have lots of signs available to direct people. A couple of things here is we would like only 2 households in the room at a time to try to help separate people out with COVID. We are not requiring or have available appointments. So it is first come, first serve, and we'll have the line of people down the hallway. Ask that people wear masks as required by Dane County Public Health at this point and keep that distance too. Another thing to note is our office hours are 7:30 to 4:30, Monday through Friday. We will be closed for some holidays. So for the Christmas holiday, Thursday and Friday, the 23rd and the 24th will be closed all day. Dropbox and mail still available. And then for the New Year's Eve holiday, because of how the calendar hit, we will be closed half a day on Thursday the 30th, and that's all of City Hall. Everything except tax collection will be closed on Friday, December 31st too. We recognize that a lot of people like to pay by December 31st, so we will be open, but just for tax collection until noon that day. So from 7:30 to noon on the 31st, just for tax payments, we will be available. If you want to pay outside of that time, again, the mail or the Dropbox would be great options. And then we're also closed for Martin Luther King Jr. Day on the 17th.
Fantastic. That's the 4th door, by the way, Misty, because you walk right by Fact TV. So we always tell people 3rd door for Fact TV. This is 4th door for our conference room where you can find it. But the signage will be there. And again, it's in City Hall this year, not the community center side. So keep that in mind when you're coming in to make that payment. All right, we have the full breakdown of the taxes, including this FAQs online, so you can catch the full piece of that, and we will revisit both of these pieces later in the month and in January. All right, take a quick break, wrap up the show next. You're watching Talking Fitchburg.
Como padre, todos los días son un desafío y hay que estar ahí presentes. No importa lo cansado que uno esté, hay que estar ahí presentes para ellos. Cuando los niños aprenden algo nuevo, es ese momento mágico y especial. Y creo que presenciar ese momento es mi favorito.
The central and midwestern U.S. averages more than 850 tornadoes each year, and lately, the number of floods has been rising in the region too. So chances are, there will be more twisters and floods near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are, you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Well, welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Wrapping up the show for today, I want to thank Misty Dodge, our finance director, for helping us out. Annually, we do this every year, talking about your property taxes and breaking down. Those links are up on the tax page, so you can watch those videos at your convenience. And please have patience when you come in to make those payments in our City Hall. As we wrap up, remember to stay connected with Fact TV. Again, if there's any emergency information we need to pass on, we will do that here on Fact TV. Other than that, stay safe tonight. Have a good night.
Thank you.